Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Armstrong back with you again for the weekly edition of Tuesday Tips. Sorry that this is coming so late. I have been rather busy today, but I want to thank each and every one of you for listening in, and I hope that you are really getting something out of these tips. And that's basically what it is, tips. In my profession, I pride myself in helping those who need the help. And if there's something that I can pass along, this is what I'm doing in these Tuesday Tips videos. We know that we are still in the midst of a national pandemic. We are still in the midst of somewhat a state of panic and hysteria for some people, not for everybody, for some people. What I will say, I'm going to run down today a few tips that may benefit you in some type of way, that can just help you with some of the anxieties, with some of the stressors, with some of the triggers, and how to maybe just keep a calm demeanor and understand that it's not all about death and dying. Yes, we have been affected greatly by the pandemic. I've told you time and time again that I've lost many church friends, lost another friend not too long ago. And it just seems to be endless. It just seems to never stop. But we do know that if we continue to hang in there, and the main thing is to have a little common sense. I keep saying this over and over and over again on these videos. Have common sense, people. If you go out and you come back in, take 30 seconds to save your life and wash your hands. Yeah, the CDC says 20, add another 10 onto it. If it's about saving your life for standing there 30 seconds, scrubbing your hands to save your life and your family's life, do it. What's the problem? Do it. So, common sense, please. Church leaders, pastors, bishops, whatever clergy that's out there, you're the watchman on the wall. You don't need to have a congregate of people all around. It doesn't diminish your leadership skills. It does not diminish your faith. But we are human. Okay? And I just don't get why pastors, ministers, bishops, I don't call people reverend because that's God's name. You ain't supposed to use the title reverend. But these doctors of theology and divinity, have you not read where in the Bible, if there was a leper, they were separated from the rest of the common community? It's no different, people. Separate yourself. Okay? Now, let's go into some of the good stuff, the Tuesday tip stuff, right? And I'm going to be looking here at my computer. My setup is a little different. Social media may and can escalate anxiety more than traditional media. Reason for that is social media is a more personal interaction. Okay? These are your friends talking. These are your family members talking. These are intimate thoughts coming from your friends and relatives who are out there. Maybe a nurse, doctor, ER, physician, nurse, medical assistant, out there on the front lines, EMS worker, seeing this stuff up close and personal. And that may cause you to have anxiety. We find that people that read more about the virus on social media, their perception of risk is increased. Understand this. Please use common sense. The virus is out there. The numbers are not going down. The numbers are increasing. If your governor is opening up a state and you feel it's not safe, stay home. Okay? You're getting this money. You want to spend it. It's burning a hole in your pocket. Use some common sense. Shop online. Sanitize the packages. Stay home. Wash your hands. Number two, too much media of any kind. Let me repeat that. Too much media of any kind can undermine your mental health. The amount of exposure that you expose yourself to media and certain television shows, it suggests that people have more distress during past disasters. As we see people talking about the 1918 flu pandemic. I remember my grandparents talking about it. We hear about the Ebola, we hear about the bird flu, we hear about SARS. If you're constantly barraging your mind with what's coming from the TV, yes, that can also cause anxiety. A lack of control can fuel stress. When you feel like you're just out of control and there's nothing in your control and you feel as though all hope is gone, all hope is lost, that brings about stress. How do you combat that? First of all, you need to gain control. How do you gain control? Using common sense. If washing your hands is the number one way to fight this thing and staying at home is the number one way to fight this thing and to help your mental health stability, why not do that? Common sense. I'm trying to move a little fast here. Managing stress on a very prompt manner can prevent long-term troubles, okay? People who are stressed out over time, they tend to develop other illnesses, other issues, other health concerns. Tackle your stress as soon as it appears. You know, if it takes going to see a therapist or a psychologist, a counselor, go ahead and get the help. I'm not real big on medication, but there are apps out there now that you can use, Calm and Headspace and they're not paying me to say this, but there are apps out there that you can use to help calm your stress and anxiety. Use those, okay? Prayer, meditation, reading the scriptures, it helps. Let's do that. Don't forget the needs of others. Listen, if you're caring for someone, use common sense while you're caring for that person. You don't want them to get infected, okay? We don't know what's around us, but use a little bit of that common sense to protect them. Quarantine and isolation that can bring on the increase of negative outcomes. Understand this. There's a difference between quarantining and isolation. You don't have to isolate yourself from others. There's a whole big world of social media. You have the access to talk to your friends, your relatives, your family. My wife's family's done a wonderful thing. They all got on Google Hangouts and they all came on video together, and it was spectacular. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it. Well, you know, her family's my family. I'm in the family. It was great interacting with all of them, even though we're so spread apart. So learn ways to positively impact your mental health. That's all I have today. I know it went a little quick. I only have 10 minutes because that's all that IG gives me. But listen, take control of yourself. Use common sense. Be safe.